Hi everyone, this is JP Tong, and welcome to today's program, Detox Your Mind. I hope everyone had a good week, and I thank you for joining me during this weekend. So today I am going to talk about what we always do. So how we always keep ourselves busy, be it physically busy for work purposes, for your personal hobbies, and even when you are seated at home, or when you're driving, or when you're chilling out at the beach. If you notice, you also keep yourself busy, but mentally. So today's talk is about realizing or acknowledging how we are constantly on the go, be it physically or mentally. Okay, so, and I'll talk about the benefits and the disbenefits of how we are constantly busy. So, is it good? Is it bad? Well, I'm not here to judge. So what I'm saying is let's assess what it is that we're busy with and whether or not we spend the time to ground ourselves, to reconnect and kind of check in with ourselves. Okay, check in with ourselves. So, an analogy that I would like to give is this. When we are perhaps, let's say, if you live in a house or an apartment, sometimes things break down. And when things break down, well, most of us don't know how to fix it or how to even troubleshoot or do minor repairs. And we're always at the mercy of getting somebody else to do it. You can call your contractor, you can call your handyman or a friend, your spouse, your child, whomever. So you're always dependent on somebody else to fix it for you. Okay, and very few of us actually take the time to tell ourselves, wait a minute, why don't I just learn how to troubleshoot and perhaps fix it without having to wait and depend on others? So for me personally, I would personally like to learn what's happening with the different parts of the house, how it functions, and when something happens, instead of waiting for hours for someone to come and fix something, I would rather do it myself. So that's a choice. So is it better or is it good or is it bad? That's something that we can decide for ourselves. So same thing with our mind. When things are great, are happening the way we would like it to happen, or if things don't turn out the way we expect them to happen, then what is our thought process and what is the reaction? Okay, what's the thought process and what is the reaction? And that is something to check in on because usually when we are used to the good times, okay, the good times where things are running very smoothly, they're up to our expectations, and all of a sudden everything stops or it collapses. And we go into a stress mode. Some even have a nervous breakdown or anxiety attack and so on and so forth. So when we spend the time to check in on a consistent basis, then we will be able to have a different thought process. So how we process situations or people would be improved. Improved, what I mean by improved, it would mean that we do not have to go through some sort of a emotional stress, a mental stress and emotional breakdown or a meltdown. Now, isn't that better? Isn't that better? Okay, because why? Because when we consistently check in with ourselves and we're very clear with what it is that we are busy with, and we're very clear with our our thought process, our reaction will not become too dramatic, too dramatic. Okay, so I will explain. I'll explain. All right, so let me see who's here. Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, so moving along. So then what happens? So when we spend me time, what does that mean? You know, a lot of times we say, oh, let's chill at home, watch TV, watch a movie, watch, read a book, do some of you may do some gardening, baking, cooking, whatever it is that you do on your me time. Do you actually spend time checking in with yourselves? Or do you just further distract yourself with things that you like to do just to kind of, relax the mind? You see, that relaxing the mind and doing things that you enjoy is great. What I'm saying is, how often do we actually take a step back and perhaps read a book on understanding your mind better? Or maybe do a little bit of mindfulness meditation to kind of check in and ground yourself. Because why? Well, when we are always so busy and on the go continuously, all the time would be, when a lot of people go on the phones, they always check the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and whatever it is. You go on YouTube to watch videos. You can listen to music. That is a type of business that we occupy ourselves with that is supposed to give us a bit of you know a bit of peace and calmness. Okay, all of us do that. So when we now kind of think back, so as I'm talking right now, you can actually think back, what is it that you are busy with on a daily basis, on daily on a daily basis, be it, whether you're going to work, be it, you're doing things for your family, or if you're alone, what are you really busy with? And what is it all about? What is it all about? So it's something that, or it's time where we actually check in. We check in and ask ourselves, what is all this busyness about? You can say, well, I got to make money to pay bills. Wonderful. I got to manage my family so that, the kids go to school, they have their meals, everything that they need are prepared. Um, you know, and maybe your hobby, or maybe you're studying, having good grades. I really enjoy, some of you may say, oh, I really enjoy a certain hobby. I got to go cycling every day, or I need to go to the gym every day. So whatever it is that you do, what is the intention behind it? What is the intention behind all that you do? All that you do. Okay, so being clear with what is the intention of doing all these things. That's one. Two, when we actually take a step back and we spend time to understand how the mind works. Like tonight, for those of you who join, who is watching, you're actually investing in yourself. You're investing in that half hour of my talk to understand yourself better, to understand yourself better, so that when you gain that clarity, then your life becomes even more colorful. It becomes even more colorful, you feel more fulfilled, and you actually will feel happier. Okay, and when things happen, instead of going to a meltdown, or whatever it is that either emotion, which is very extreme, you'll be able to understand why. And when we understand why, it doesn't mean that you become numb and detached. It's just that your life becomes less dramatic. That's dramatic. Well, I was explaining this to a friend of mine, and she couldn't understand what I mean by being less dramatic. It means that if things don't happen the way you like it to happen, and a lot of times you become extremely stressed or extremely unhappy, of course you will still feel unhappy, but not as extreme. Not as extreme. And for things that we like to do, and we're always looking forward to it, always looking forward because that's what we like to do: hang out with friends, go for drinks, go watch a movie, do your cycling, whatever it is that you love to do all the time. And well, that's what we call hobbies. And you're so looking forward to it. And because of this current lockdown, a lot of times we're not allowed to go out because of the standard operating procedures, the SOPs that our government has instilled. And then we go into a reaction mode. We kind of spiral down and we feel stressed because we're not allowed to do things that we usually do on a weekly basis or on a daily basis. And you kind of get into an emotional turmoil. So what's going on? See, so either way, it doesn't benefit us as a whole. It disturbs our equilibrium. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Do I have any questions so far? Okay, great. So moving along. So as I'm talking, just really think about what it is that you're busy with all the time. Think about it. All right. And then take a step back and watch your life. Just recall what you've perhaps like today. What have you done today? What were you busy with? Or even yesterday or the entire week, if you can remember. And then from there, take a step back and just watch it like a movie and then check in. Check in with yourself. Have you been very focused? Have you set an intention for yourself so that you can be very focused with what it is that you would like to create? Okay, so being clear with your intention is very, very important. So things like for me, every morning I will set my intention that may I use my body, speech, and mind to be a benefit to others. To be a benefit to others. That's my intention. So, and it guides me. It helps me focus on on how would I say realizing this intention. So I can be meeting someone, I can be walking past this hallway, and because of my presence, because I've crossed paths, so it is my intention to have benefited the situation or the person in one way or another. So every time when I get irritated or I get distracted with my own emotions or what I call my own agenda, whatever they may be, if I get distracted and kind of get thrown off the course, then I remind myself of my intention of the day. And that is very, very important. Think about it. Because when we do that, we will be able to be more focused and we will be more effective with what we want to create. And the wonderful result is we are actually more at peace. We can achieve more. Our stress level goes down because why? We focus on the intention. Okay, so there are questions from the audience. So what's the question? Kirsten, I spend my me time talking to myself. Am I considered sort? You mean a bit cranky, a bit crazy? Well, in psychology, when you talk to yourself, it is a sign of extreme loneliness. Okay, it manifests into us talking to ourselves. Okay, there is a sense of loneliness. So you kind of have that persona is actually yourself, and you are aware of it. Okay, I'm not judging. I'm just saying what in psychology. That's what scientists say. That's what scientists say. Okay, so for Kirsten, again, just taking when you have your me time, you can either read on how the mind works or watch YouTube or even just check in with yourself. Check in with yourself on all that you have studied and learned. Because you've been following my program during the lockdown, with the 100 episodes and so on and so forth, and my other programs. So I believe if you can watch it again, then perhaps more things may arise for you to help you understand your mind a lot better. Okay, and because Cousin is my personal friend, so I know your schedule. You're always on the go. You're always doing something. And how often do you check in with your mind is something that you may want to look into. And in your mind, kind of ask yourself what all that is about. What all that is about. Okay, do we have any more questions? Question, JP, when I'm busy and accomplish all my tasks, I often end up feeling more empty than when I do less. Why is that? Okay. Well, the king, I used to feel that way too before I met my teacher. And that, we're always on the go. We're always, and we do have a checklist. So today I'm going to do this, 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 this. I go for all my appointments and I get everything done. I do that. That emptiness that you feel, Lee King, is because it is the intention, is your motivation. Because when we do things for ourselves, okay, I'm not judging, but this is all psychology. So when we do things for ourselves, me, be it paying the bills, you do things to pay the bills, you do things for my family. You see, the me is involved, and there's nothing wrong with it, okay? Or I do things for my spouse or my friends. As long as there's a me there, then the come from it's that of selfishness. Selfishness. It means that you have the me attached to the thing that to whatever it is that you're doing it for. So even if it's your family, you may say, "What? My family selfish? Me doing something for my family is selfish because of that me." Would you see when you do it for other families, that becomes selfless? No more of the self. Okay, so again, I have to be very careful here. The, there's nothing wrong with helping your family or your friends and all that. There's nothing wrong. But when we raise our intention to a much higher level, whereby may I be the vessel to benefit those who cross my path, be it my family, be it friends, or even people whom I don't know, animals, stray animals that I come across all of a sudden, the homeless, the orphans, whoever it is, even people whom you just met, because of you, because they cross path with you, you somehow made a difference during that few minutes. So when we raise our intention or our motivation to a higher level where it's more encompassing, it's not just my world, my reality, but it becomes the parameter is raised when we go beyond the me. When we do that, whatever that we do on a daily basis out of paying bills, out of family obligation, and so on and so forth, that the emptiness will be gone. Because why? Because our entire being has become selfless. And why is it important to operate out of selflessness? Is because that is the innate, natural self. Naturally, our mind is selfless. Naturally. When we do things of a selfish nature, that means with the me involved, for example, an extension of myself is my family. An extension of myself can be my pet dog, my pet cat, or so as long as it's an extension of you, that becomes selfish. Yeah, I hope that is clear before I get myself in trouble. Okay, so that is why when you operate from the me, it is not natural. It is not natural. And hence that emptiness. You don't feel fulfilled. You feel after a while that you're just going through the motion. You're just going through the motion. Yes, everyone is happy because you fulfilled whatever obligation, but yet that is that void in you, which you just can't put your finger on. That's your mind telling you you are not reconnecting with your authentic self. And your authentic self is pure selflessness. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Otherwise, we can work on it later on during the workshop. Okay, next question. Do you have any more questions? Yiman, hi JP everyone. How does one get busy mentally? Can one be mentally busy but not physically? Yes, of course. You know how sometimes when we just sit down over a cup of coffee, you can be thinking about, oh, where am I going to go next? What am I going to eat next? You will recall what you did, so you're mentally very busy. You're distracted. You're mentally distracted. You can be looking out at at a view, or if you're a cafe, you'd be watching the people, walking back and forth, and then you go, oh, this person's good looking, or what this person wearing, whatever it is that you keep yourself occupied with. Like for Kirsten, she says she talks to herself. So she keeps herself busy by talking to herself. So yes, although you can be sitting still, like how when we meditate, your mind is just all over the place, and that is keeping yourself mentally busy. That's what I mean. Okay, I hope that helps. Do we have more questions? Freon, hi, Freon is right there. Yes, Freon. The mind seems to always working and busy. How to silence beside meditation? Is listening to music a way to silence? No, because listening to music is just another way to focus on something else. It's another form of distraction. The reason why you may be struggling is because, again, it's about spending enough time to control the mind, to control the mind. You see, we can control our movement physically. We can control. And when we go to the gym, we have a much better control. We are more agile. We can run faster. Physically, we have we are stronger. Okay, so same thing with the mind. So when we practice any sort of mindfulness training, be it focusing on you can just focus on anything without the mind wandering, then you will be able to focus on what you need to focus on. For example, your breath. Very, very easy. Focus on your breath. I tested my mind on many occasions because last week I was just very busy because we're doing video shooting here. I'm having a lot of meetings with my projects that's ongoing, and people just calling me and just nonsense. So I was totally swamped. My entire schedule was swamped, and I was physically very tired and exhausted. And there were times that I was a bit irritated when people kept making mistakes and I had to repeat myself. Then I caught myself from reacting in that negative way, which I chose to stop it and to focus on my breath. So when that anger or that irritation arose, I caught myself within a few seconds and I focused on my breath. When I did that, the irritation just went like that, just like that. So, what's my point? I did not suppress it. I just focus on my breath and allow that emotion to arise and go. Arise and go. So during my mindfulness meditation program, I was saying every time when your thoughts arise or when your emotions arise, when you're focusing, you'll be distracted with your emotions and your thoughts. So when we constantly practice on bringing the focus back to the breath and just allow the thoughts and the emotions to arise, they will come and they will go. So I can vouch for it now that yes, I tested myself to make sure that I'm on track. Yes, that I'm on track and that it really went away. So I was very happy with my progress that I would no longer allow that irritation to fester in my mind and I no longer replay this scenario that caused my irritation. You know how some we can always, when something happens to us and really bothers us and in our mind, it can be both ways, yeah. It can be something that happened to us that we really love, that we're so excited, or something that really irritated us. And we will always replay it in our mind, whether or not you're aware of it. Okay? So that doesn't happen anymore. Because why? Then once that emotion has passed, I focus on what I needed to do at that point of time. And I felt that equilibrium again. And I was very grounded and very calm, very grounded, very calm, regardless of how physically tired I was. I didn't feel drained. I didn't think I needed a vacation. You know how sometimes when we are so busy, it's like, oh, I need a break, or oh, I'm so looking forward to this weekend. I can sleep in. None of those thoughts arose. None of that. None of that. So again, I noticed that about my mind. I noticed. So I was very happy with my progress. I still have a long way to go. But I'm very happy that, yes, mindfulness meditation does work and it's extremely beneficial. Extremely, extremely so. Okay, so I hope that helps. Okay, do we have any more questions? No more questions. Great. So, well, moving along. So now that is why the homework for everyone who can't join the workshop, because in order for you to join the workshop, I would at least it would be great or more beneficial if you can at least have some experience doing mindful meditation. If you've not done it, you can always watch the videos that I've done for the first, from day one onwards. I did 100 episodes of that. And if you have once you have a good grasp of mindful meditation, then by all means, you're most welcome to join me um, every day, every Saturday at 9:45 p.m. So after once we're done with this show, then 15 minutes later, we will start a closed group workshop where we will meet via Google Meet. All right, and then from there, I'll be able to walk you through very quickly, get yourself into that stillness, that calmness, using the mindful meditation method. Then after that, I'll walk you through what I have spoken about today, and that will help you tremendously. And I was so happy last weekend because it was supposed to be a 1 hour workshop, but it just went on to 2 hours. So I'm very sorry for those of you who were very tired, and some of you in the UK so that you have not had your lunch. So I'm very, very sorry about that. I'll try my best to finish it within that hour as promised. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in this Saturday and spending time investing in yourself by hearing what I've got to say about how the mind works. Okay, so on that note, I'll see you guys next Saturday, same time. Take care. Bye.